Thanks for joining me in the unboxing and testing of the Coleman SunForce 4-watt solar 12-volt battery trickle charger with OBD II connector. Model number 51804. After carefully unpacking all the items out of the box, here's what we've got. The Coleman 4-watt panel with mounting holes, a polarized connector on a fairly long cord, so if you're mounting it anywhere in your car, SUV or pickup, you shouldn't have any problems reaching. Next, we've got the cigarette lighter adapter or accessory plug in some vehicles. Again, this is a polarized plug, so you can't really mess it up, and fits right in. This does have a fuse in the tip. Very good spring loads. I think we can get the fuse out. Just be careful, small parts. And there's the 3-amp fuse. We can put that back in if it'll fit, and we'll get it in there. Anyway, next item up is the direct connection to your battery. Again, red for positive, black for negative, polarized plug on the other end, so you can't mess it up. Next, we have these little suction cups that actually fit in here very nicely. I've tried it already just to see and prove the point. And as we keep going, your OBD II connection or onboard data connection, which will actually fit into your digital link connector on board. And of course we have the manual. And guys, read the manual. It does have some very good information in the manual, and it also tells you what the magic of OBD II actually means, and it was very nice of them to do that. It does specify that it is 266 milliamps at 15 volts, and this is very accurate as far as I can tell. I did throw the meter on, and I will show you that. And with the meter on, we're going to see that it does produce a little bit more voltage than what the 15 volts is, of course, because that's a floating voltage without a load. We'll see once we connect it and actually use it, then you'll see the voltage go down, and that should be good for what's in the box. So without further ado, let's use some camera magic, and we'll head on down to the vehicle and actually plug this thing in, mount it, and see how long it takes. Before I head outside though, I just wanted to do a little quick test and see what our voltage is. I've just set it up here at the window, and it's kind of an overcast day, a little bit of sun poking through now and then, and of course you can probably see in the background I've got some trees right in my way. So by putting in here, and again polarized plug, just so a little note, the covered area here is usually the positive and the other side is the negative. And there we go. We're seeing 19.5 volts coming out of it, or 19.55, which is pretty good for this unit, considering the maximum peak voltage is going to be about 25 volts. And again, this is because there's no load on it. So if you're seeing that kind of voltage, don't panic. Once you do put a load on, it will definitely go down to the ambient voltage of the battery. So that's it for this one. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, so we're down here at the vehicle, and I've brought my goodies all down and getting ready to install this battery trickle charger. As you may see, I've already placed the little suction cups into the mounting holes. And thing to note is make sure you have these little tabs facing outward. This will be important if you want to remove this thing. If they're in like this, it's going to be very hard to get at them, so swing them out to the outside so you'll be able to take them off. And we'll see what we can do to mount that panel in a second. Okay, so grabbing your solar panel, then obviously you want to mount it somewhere fairly high in case you get some debris like leaves or maybe even frost built up on your windshield. And I'm just going to stick it up here fairly high and apply some force to it. Try not to push in the back of the panel. That may cause it to break or something, but we'll get it into place. I've also kept it down below the tint screen or the tint layer. Some vehicles do have those, and hopefully that should be a good location. And let's get on with the connections. First thing I'm going to do actually is a quick measure of the voltage coming out of the panel right now. Now you may notice in the background it's not very sunny, so I'm going to plunk my meter up here. Hopefully this is not a good place. We'll set it there. Hopefully you can see that, and we'll see what we get for a reading off the meter. And again, using the polarized plug, so I know the covered one is the positive, so I'll stick my red conductor in there, red probe, and then go with the other one on the ground. And we see 20.5 volts indicated on the meter right now. So that should work out fairly well. So let's see what happens once we get the other wiring in. So we're going to locate the DLC or data link connection in your vehicle. In mine, it happens to be down here underneath the dashboard, right where the brake release pedal is, or somewhere down underneath. You'll find it in most vehicles in that area. So hopefully that'll help you out. You can have a look under your dash and you'll probably find it without any problems. Okay, so since we've already located our data link connector, and it's time to go plug in the OBD II, or onboard data, I think that's, no, it's onboard diagnostic. I think I said data earlier. That's the difference. This is a data link connection. This is the onboard diagnostics 2 connector. So should be fairly simple. Line up your plugs. You see the shape of it, so it's kind of idiot proof. You can only put the peg in the hole in one way. So get it in there. It's a little cool out, so it should be fairly snug, and it's not going to fall out. And then of course we'll get to the other end of the wire, and again we're looking at our polarized plugs, and I'm going to plug my cable in, if I can do this correctly here. So on we go, and a nice good connection like that, and it should be charging. So not knowing what's actually going on, I'm actually going to just pull this plug apart just a little bit. Whoop, I didn't mean to pull it that far. About like that, so I can actually do a measurement. Grab the probes real quick, and again, polarized side. So put my meter on here, and we'll have a look, and look, it's sitting at 12.6 volts. So that's fantastic. And now let's check and see what kind of current is actually flowing through this. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, this is actually from my camera. It's my little display, because the display on the camera, well, it doesn't have one. It's a Sony Action Cam, and that's why I keep looking at my wrist. Okay, so to test for current, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to switch my meter over to current first off. So I have it sitting on the 10 amp scale. Since this particular panel is supposed to put out 266 milliamps, it exceeds my 200 milliamp scale, and the next one up is 10 amps. I'm going to move the plug over to the appropriate plug, so I have it in the right spot. There we go. So now by letting the voltage or current run through, it will measure current instead of voltage. Now, a place to do this is I can do it here in the fuse by pulling it out, and of course I'm looking at my wrist again to make sure I'm actually showing this on the camera. And by pulling the spade fuse out, I can put my probes in there carefully that I don't mess anything up, and then we'll be able to see what kind of current is actually being put into the battery. So, okay, I have my probes backwards. Let's swing them around again. We'll go this way, and now I have my probes in the correct way. So it's indicating here that it is actually on the 20 scale. So this is 284 milliamps running into into my battery right now. So that's what we're charging at, 284 or 285 milliamps. It's actually pretty good because it's only rated at 266, so we're doing a pretty bang up job here. I do have direct sunlight hitting the panel, although right now it is a little bit overcast. Now, one of the things to note, the higher current rate, it's because we are in direct sunlight. If the panel gets moved, it's going to definitely drop on me. Plus my battery is probably saying, hey, I like all this juice, so this is a good thing, I hope. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and rearrange this and do the other plug here so you can see how easy it is actually to use the accessory plug. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the accessory or lighter plug adapter this time around and see what it does. So first off, I want to make sure that my socket is actually live, and you're going to have to be very careful here if you're going to do this. I've got my meter out and my positive I'm going to put right down in the center here, and luckily they have some good rings on here so I won't be touching the sides with my positive conductor, and then I'm going to apply the negative conductor, and we see 12.6 volts, so that's telling me we do have a live plug here. And I'm going to now connect the accessory plug and plug it in. So having this in, we're just going to push it right into the hole here, and I mentioned before it's got some very nice tension springs, and it's fairly decent here. So by jamming it into the hole, make sure you have it all the way down, and it should be right in there. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a current test because I don't have extra wiring and stuff to work with here, but I am going to do a quick voltage test now just to see if the voltage, floating voltage, has dropped on the meter. And oh, I'm not getting connection. Hang on. Yeah, I think I may not be able to do it because of the space involved here. By not having this plug seems to be a little bit looser than the other one, so having it jammed together like this will probably make contact, yet I can't measure it the way I was trying to the other way. But I'm pretty sure it's working, and we'll leave it at that for now. So accessory plugs in your vehicle, there's usually a few of them around in most modern vehicles. Mine seems to have quite a few. It's got, of course, the cigarette lighter plug, and that is designed for cigarette lighter as well as your accessory devices. I also have several other ones on the passenger side. Those are not cigarette lighter plugs. They are only accessory plugs, lower current value, and basically not insulated for the heat that would be generated from a cigarette lighter. I also checked in the back of the vehicle. There's one plug in the back as well. So depending on what vehicle you have, there could be a number of plugs. I know some of the cars have multiple ones in the center consoles and locations like that. So anyway, it seems to be good. I've got direct sunlight. Again, the floating voltage right now, if we just unplug this guy and see what we actually have, we're right now showing 21.7 volts, 21.6. And again, it is a little bit cloudy. There's a little bit of a cloud in front of the sun, but it's doing all right. So as a trickle charger, hey, I give it a thumbs up. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Thank you. Okay, and last but not least, it's the removal of the panel. And as I mentioned, the little pull tabs off to the side makes it very easy for you just to pull them back and release the vacuum, and I've already done that there. So zap, off it goes, panel in hand, and away we go. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video, and please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.